How's it going, everyone? Finally, after months of anticipation, the special day has finally arrived. Personally, I couldn't wait, because I was really getting sick of seeing Chris, that goofy picture of Chris on their wedding page. Anyone have a better one than that? For those of you who don't know me, I'm John, the younger, smarter, better-looking son of my brother. Since I am Chris's younger brother, a lot of my personality is based on him. So if this speech sucks, you can blame him. So where do I begin? I'd first like to start by letting everyone know that neither Chris nor Leanna has helped me write or revise any part of this speech. That is on every one of my college essays and resumes. I took the liberty to proofread this one myself, so just bear with me. Since this is the wedding speech, since this is the first wedding I've ever been to, as far as I can remember, I wasn't sure how appropriate a best man speech should be. I have to admit, after reading this, I have to admit, after reading this, I realized it was more than a roast. It was more like a roast than a toast. So Chris, I'm sorry, not really. When Chris initially told us he was engaged at Easter dinner, the whole family was thrilled. Well, at first, everyone was thrilled except our grandmother. After congratulating Chris, we looked down the table and saw that she was pretty upset. I turned to her and asked, "Grandma, what's wrong? Chris just told us he got engaged." She responded, "Oh, I thought he said he got AIDS." Grandma, I hope you don't have your recent out on that.
That's a true story. That's a true story, too. You can't make that stuff up.
Believe it or not, growing up, Chris wasn't the ladies' man. He didn't play a lot of sports, and he didn't participate in a lot of activities. If you've ever seen early pictures of him, you know what I'm talking about. As I remember, Chris even started a recycling club in elementary school. Gold locker, you were in that. But even though you may think he's a normal guy, he can be a little quirky. Like the instance he dyed his hair orange in college. I bet that got you all the ladies. Or maybe the time he bought over $200 worth of Halloween candy because the day after Halloween, Walmart was having a clearance sale. Wow, Chris, that was a bargain. We had so much candy, I'm surprised the entire family doesn't have diabetes. He also hasn't made the smartest decisions in life. Like the time me and him were working at Jones Beach, he decided to throw a whole barbecue full of coals into a garbage disposal, lighting the entire parking lot on fire. But even though Chris wasn't the smartest tools in the shed, he was the first member of the Starkey family to graduate college. I guess that tells you a lot about us. Chris graduated at the top of his class, probably top 20 out of the other 25 kids that graduated with him. If you haven't heard of Franklin Pierce, don't worry. Most of the people in New Hampshire probably haven't heard of it either. But who am I to talk? I graduated from Binghamton, the best SUNY school in New York. That's like winning the Special Olympics. Lauren, you should probably stop laughing. Graduating with a 1.3 from Oneonta, with a major in alcoholism and a minor in sorority event planning, isn't something to be proud of. Anyway, staying on topic, I just want to say how much I love you. You've always been an amazing role model, and you've always helped me on my path through life. You told me to always be yourself and to treat others with respect. When we were growing up, you played hockey, so I wanted to play hockey. Since you went away to school, I wanted to go away to school. And right after college, you moved out on your own, so I knew Mom and Dad were going to kick my ass out. You've had absolutely nothing handed to you in life. You've always been independent, hardworking, and deserve all the success you have earned. I credit my own success because I've always wanted to be like you. I've always looked up to you for guidance, things how to dress, where to go to college, and where to work. Lauren and I even followed in your footsteps, working at Toys R Us, and then working at Jones Beach. But I think it was our best decision to stay away from Fabric Bonanza. Leanna, one of the first times I ever met you was when we went out to dinner with you and Chris when you guys first started dating. Chris had the brilliant idea to also invite his ex-girlfriend Andrea and her new boyfriend Art. Talk about awkward. Seriously, Chris, what were you thinking? Anyway, I knew from the first time I met you, you and my brother had something special. Leanna, I am truly honored to call you my sister. You are smart, funny, charming, beautiful, and deserve to marry a man with all these qualities. So thank God you married Chris before you found me. I wish you both the best of luck, but I know you guys won't need it. You are both individuals who work hard and rely on their relationships with their family, friends, and peers to achieve success. Oh yeah, Leanna, I don't blame you for not taking our last name. You probably just saved yourself about 1,000 explanations on how to pronounce Starkey. So if everyone can raise their glasses, I know I speak for everyone when I say we love you both and couldn't be happier. Chris, I couldn't have asked for a better brother in life. And Leanna, let me be the first to say, welcome to the family.
So hello, thank you all for coming and celebrating Leanna and Chris's beautiful wedding with us today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Melissa, Leanna's sister. Growing up as Leanna's little sister has not been easy. She left quite some tough shoes to follow in. In school, Leanna was always seen as a polite, quiet, and gifted child. Because we grew up in a small town, I often had all the same teachers that Leanna had already had. For the first couple of days in school, I was usually mistakenly called Leanna. However, fortunately or unfortunately for me, it did not take them long to realize how mistaken they were. Leanna and I were polar opposites. As such, we didn't always get along and often protested if anyone said how similar we were. The worst thing a friend could say to us is, "You are just like your sister." But things have changed, and as we grew up, instead of growing apart, we have finally connected, and I now consider Leanna to be one of my best friends. And I'm now honored if someone were to say that I was just like my sister. Although I am glad that I didn't have to follow after this wedding, because Leanna and Chris have really set the bar, and as expected, everything went perfectly. I could not be happier for my sister and Chris, and I'm really delighted to see her join such a kind and welcoming family. When Leanna first introduced me to Chris 4 years ago, I could tell that this relationship was different from all the others. Chris seemed to... There weren't many. Chris seemed to have the same adventurous spirit and independence as my sister. And watching them together, I know that Leanna has finally found the one that will make her happy. Chris is a wonderful guy, and I could not be more pleased to have him join our family. So congratulations to Leanna and Chris, and here's to many years of happiness.